Hey, welcome to Wolf's Watch. Happy Veterans Day. And veterans, thank you for your service. Really appreciate it, truly, from the heart. I'm here in Seal Beach today. So we're coming to you live and interactive from Seal Beach, California. Watching for comments over here. And they had a great event. I missed it. I got here a little bit late. Was cruising around looking for a place to sit and write, do some old office work, was also an old office report. Just happens to be Veterans Day. But behind me here, they had a great event where they had a bunch of people show up. They had the captain from local Navy base here spoke. They had a local congresswoman speak, and it's just a great event. Brought in a helicopter for the public to see, to celebrate 11/11/11, right? On the 11th day, 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month was when the armistice was signed in World War One. That is the root for the beginning of Veterans Day. It was originally Armistice Day, and I remember my grandparents, who had my mother's father, had been Charles, had been in World War One. So they still talked about what we call Veterans Day today. They still talked about it as Armistice Day, and there's a lot of veterans here in Southern California, which truly we do appreciate. I do personally appreciate your service. And as you're watching this, if you have a veteran in your life, or you know someone that's a veteran, or you just see someone on the street that is sporting a cap that has their when they served, maybe Vietnam, maybe Korea. Not so many of the World War II veterans around anymore. It could have been from Iraq, first Iraq War, or from the more recent global war on terror. Thank them. And remember that the reason that we get to do things like today, I'm very aware of the fact that I get to have an alt office afternoon working that's suffering writer's block. That's really a huge problem, right? It's just not getting it done. So I figured change my environment, change my thought process. I get to have the opportunity to do that because of the men and women that serve in the military. And yeah, thank you for that. So that we can, as the song says, lay our head down and sleep tonight, knowing we're safe. Because someone's out there, someone has fought, someone's still out there standing on the wall watching and keeping the homeland safe. We appreciate that. And as you are rotating out of the military and back into civilian life, we're here for you. There's a lot of services available. One that I support personally and been involved with in Infinite Hero Foundation. They do a lot of great work. You've been a long-term Wolf's Watch participant. Then you know that we've had Infinite Hero on a few times. So this is what I like about being out and around, right? We got people out, we get to talk and interact. It was started by the CEO of Oakley, and he is now since retired from that position and works full time with the foundation. They're doing if you're anywhere near Anaheim, California, they have a car show. Their second annual Heroes and Hot Rods on the 20th of November in Anaheim. Don't miss it. If you got a hot rod, register. The registration fee is nominal, goes towards helping wounded veterans. And it'll be a great day. It's another day to honor veterans again next weekend. That'll be a week from tomorrow. This is Veterans Day, November 11th. But coming back to Veterans Day, just think about the stories that I heard from our family about what my grandfather went through in World War One. Being suffering a mustard gas attack and nearly dying. Some of the stories that my father shared from World War II when he was in the Navy as part of the island hopping campaign through the Pacific with the U.S. Navy. Guadalcanal was one of the invasions that he was involved with. Listening to my uncle talk about piloting a helicopter in Korea as a Marine Corps pilot. Listening to my cousins talk about their experiences in Vietnam, seeing the effect that it had on them, how badly they were treated when they came back, because some people politically didn't agree with what they had done. So they took it out, didn't agree with the war, so they took it out on the veterans. Listening to my friends and now my friends' children talk about their experiences, their challenges rotating back into civilian life after being involved in the global war on terror or the first Iraq War, which I mentioned earlier. It's a lot of sacrifice. And it doesn't just affect them, it affects the whole family. So consider that if you know a veteran or the family of a veteran, maybe a close friend of yours, is the spouse or significant other of a veteran, or has a brother or sister who is a veteran. You know, give them some consideration too, because it does affect the entire family. A dear friend of mine and colleague, Eldana Luz Fernandez. Hey, here's a shout out to you and a happy Veterans Day, and thank you for your service. You know, there's an example of someone who was a career Air Force, made it to, or I better make sure I get this right, Master Sergeant. She made it to Air Force Master Sergeant as a career single mom in the military, being deployed around the world. So imagine that. You know, think about what the impact that has on families. And you know, some of my veteran friends had said that the television show, I've never seen it, but they had stated the television show Army Wives did a good job of capturing impact on the family. The TV series, that might be something for you to consider. But really, just today, thank a veteran and take a moment to consider that without their service, without their sacrifice, without their family's sacrifice of not just the warfighter, not just our veterans that are being deployed around the world, often their families are going with them. Often their children are being disrupted from school to school every year to 3 years as one of their parents or both of their parents are being moved to different military bases. It's a tough life. It's not easy. And there's a lot to learn from the military as well. The military does great work in developing leaders. Now, consider the military veterans, when they start businesses, military veterans succeed at twice the rate of civilian population. In other words, if 10 veterans start a business and 10 civilians start a business, twice, there will be 2 times, 5 years from now, there will be 2 times more veterans businesses still operating than civilian businesses. So they succeeded 2 times more likely. Math is hard to try to talk it through. I don't have charts. You know, if I had a graphic or a video or something, then I could do the math. I love talking to charts, but that's a whole different conversation. Look, hope you're having a great day. It's Friday, Veterans Day, November 11th, 2022, and we're still honoring the fact that on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, the guns fell silent in Europe in World War I, the first mass mechanized nightmare that we had created for ourselves as mankind had, came to an end. So help your veterans around you, be there for them, support them, understand the sacrifice that they've made, and that as they are in civilian life is very different. We don't have much of the band of brothers types of relationships. Excuse me. Those kind of strong bonds that you form in civilian life that the military forms. So I'll let you go. I'm going to go do some work. I'm going to sit here and ponder all this for a minute and not bore you by trying to say something profound other than thank a veteran today. It's Veterans Day. So I'm Wolf. This is Wolf's Watch, reporting in from today's alternate office, which is in Seal Beach. So I'm standing this way to get the sunlight, but here's the view from the other direction. Got the park behind us, but there's the ocean. You got the pier back here, got the ocean. You can see Long Beach, you can see Palos Verdes Peninsula, you can see some of the oil rigs out here, a bunch of the freighters that are waiting. And have an awesome day. Thank you, veteran. And take a minute to think about what veterans have done for us on Veterans Day 2022. I'll see you on the trail.